telling your story. This is WCBI News on Fox 4 with Marcus Hunter, meteorologist Ashley Bryant, and Bryce Broneisen with sports.
Welcome into Sports Talk. I'm joined by Kamari here. We're going to be talking Mississippi State women's basketball. Now, they just came off a really tough loss to Missouri, losing at the buzzer. And now they're at 3-5 in conference. Probably not where they planned on being, especially at this point in the season. But Kamari, first things first, they've lost a lot of close games, kind of like how the men's team has recently. What do you think they need to do to turn that corner and win some of those close games?
Well, like you just said, it's just like the men's team. The men's lost by, 5 points to Kentucky. So the girls just like having the whole effect. Just need to be more consistent. What did they lose by? 1 point to Missouri the other night on a buzzer beat, I think. Yeah, but they did have a player, Jacqueline Jordan. She dropped like 40 points, though. She had a really good game. So I just think being more consistent, taking care of the basketball, and just getting production from your role in the bench, I think they'll be fine.
Talking about experience, this team only returned 3 players from last year, but it seems like Jacqueline Jordan has been on this team for forever. I mean, Purcell talks about all the time the relationship he has with his players, especially Jordan. And with the mix of veterans along with a lot of the newcomers, they haven't experienced what Mississippi State has been like with going through. This is most of their first SEC season with the Bulldogs. What's their outlook for the rest of this season? 3-5 right now. Not where they want to be, but, they're in the tournament field. But what do they need to do the rest of the season to call, the regular season success and to ride high into March?
Yeah, well, it's going to be tough. You got the LSUs, the South Carolina, who, right at the top. So it's going to be tough. But, if they just continue to just be consistent, just, like I said, protect the basketball, coach just continue to put them in the right direction. I think they'll be fine, but it's going to be tough, with LSU and South Carolina being up there, and Texas is doing pretty good so far. So it's going to be tough, but I think they can, bounce back and get back on the right track. Might not be where they want to be, but I think they'll be fine.
Speaking of LSU, that is their next game. They travel to Baton Rouge on Sunday with a date with them. Their only loss, the Tigers, that is, with being to South Carolina. They beat them. The Bulldogs beat the Tigers last year in Starkville. What do you think it will take for Mississippi State to leave with a victory in Baton Rouge this Sunday?
One thing that people will tell you, against good teams, you can't give them extra possession, so you cannot turn the ball over. And I don't think they need to, just settle for the 3 too much, because sometimes teams can do that, not saying State, but, sometimes teams can do that. They can just try, drive to the basket. But, against good teams, you got to protect the basketball, because if you give good teams extra possessions, they'll make you pay. So they're going to have definitely, just take care of the basketball.
Yeah, one thing that Purcell has, emphasized over the last couple of weeks, especially, is turnovers, how they've had a lot of them. And even in their close wins, he referenced the win against Utah earlier this season, turned the ball over almost 20 times. And sometimes in wins, I feel like you can overlook what you do to get to that point because you ended up winning the game. But for Purcell, turnovers is the biggest thing that he says they need to work on. And with that comes experience. Playing the non-conference game gets you ready for the conference season. But now that we're in the middle of the conference season, at what point do the turnovers and the other issues they have become maybe more of a glaring issue? Because, we're in the middle of the season now. If there's a time to get it right, it would be now. So how do you think they go about just, fixing internally what they need to do to become, I guess, a more winning team, because they're only 3-5 right now?
Well, you definitely want to get it right, before postseason start. Before you get deeper into the conference, you definitely want to get it right before then, because you continue to turn the basketball over against the South Carolinas, LSUs, the Texas, even the Ole Miss is doing, okay this year. So, they're going to have to take care of the basketball and just play their game and not play into the opponent's game, especially as we get closer and closer to the postseason.
I like what you said with, playing at their own game, playing at their own pace. We've seen a lot in these, especially their lopsided losses. They haven't really played up to the speed that they would like to play, the tempo that they're used to playing at. They're kind of playing into the opponent's game plan. And if they want to leave Baton Rouge, I believe if they want to leave Baton Rouge with a win, not saying they can't do it, but they're going to have to play a very mistake-free game. They're going to have to limit the turnovers, and they're going to have to get quality shots, because when you're shooting shots that you don't normally practice, or it's an end of shot clock situation and you just want to hoist one up, that's where you get into some trouble. So just final thing about the game on Sunday. What do you think the final score will be, and who's your winner?
I know you weren't here around this time last year, but they pulled off the upset last year.
That's what I'm saying,
with
yeah.
Flau'jae and Angel Reese stuff on the team. So I'm gonna go with the hometown team. I'm gonna say the Bulldogs will get the upset 79-73.
Okay. That's all we have for Sports Talk. We will be right back after the break.